Okay. Looks like our stream is now live. I'm going to send out a tweet to that effect. Going live. And hello everybody. And welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah!
I am Christiana Ellis. I'm the Dungeon Master, and our players tonight, Chooch Schubert as Otterkey,
Hello, hello.
Starla Hodgton as Nirakina Ethu,
Greetings and salutations.
Jenny Meltzer as Cadence of the Water,
Hello.
James Meltzer as Ket of the Sands,
Hi.
Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric Copperbeard,
I'll be damned if I find myself stuck in a hole again.
and Vivid Muse as Betty Page, Amethyst.
Hey y'all! I got more bangs cut today. That's the Betty Page comment.
So, when last we left our heroes, they had made their way to the Abyss, which is not a very nice place to be, it turns out. And they had come there in search of the Caretaker's Heart, an ancient entity who had been torn apart many long times ago, and the heart now in the possession of an Eladrin named Pishwish, who it was helping, finger quotes, by keeping him from dying when the demons tear him apart over and over again. But you're here to rescue him, sort of, maybe.
Sort of. Yeah.
You know. But, you know what? After the recap, I'm going to take a brief moment to put a dog in the other room. But, to complete the thought here, we have a surprise for the Heroes of Legend, because their colleague Amethyst, last known location in the prison of the Inexorables, suddenly showed up and revealed that she was out on work release, essentially, complete with magical ankle monitor, under the conditions that it was in the Inexorables' interest for the Heroes of Legend to complete their current mission, and that she was released for helping that effort on the grounds that all of you, plus the Caretaker's Heart, return to that domain once you're done. Now, how you guys choose to handle the actual aftermath of that is up to you, but that was the agreement made. So you traveled through the Abyss to this crater that Nira had seen in her vision. You found the crater supervised by an extremely gross, blobby, hot air balloon of a demon, who seemed to indicate that this Eladrin was his test subject, and he was basically finding all sorts of ways to not kill this Eladrin. You were permitted access to this strange well-like shaft and cavern that the Eladrin was in. You found Pishwish there, and you all descended down through this 60-foot, well, through a sphere of magical darkness, and then proceeded to pull the remains of the Caretaker out, at which point the Sibriex, this demon mad scientist, decided, you know what? He needs that. He needs it. So, we're going to roll initiative. But while you guys do that, I will be right back.
My bad guy.
Dun 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 dun.
So we should have
It was
known better.
brilliant. I thought it was a good move.
And I did post in the chat. I did post in the chat the real title of this episode. Oh, that's nice.
At
The real
bottom of
title?
Well, actually.
Yeah, we're not at the bottom of a well. We're at the bottom of a well, actually. We should have known better.
I mean, we knew better, but what else we were gonna do?
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah,
I think we know as better as
applaud
we
Sarah
usually do.
for taking the risk.
She leads us to these things. How could we possibly not? Just lean in and sip a little, you know?
Pretty much.
It's all good.
Under the bar, you might as well drink.
That's right.
All right.
Ooh.
Does everybody have their initiative?
Yeah.
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 Don't worry, I beat you.
We have in this encounter something that's a first for me, which is that there is in play a negative initiative.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yes.
different for sure.
It doesn't really mean anything. They just go last. Alaric,
6.
6. It's not negative.
No, I rolled a 1. I can't go any lower than that.
I too rolled a 1, so therefore I get an 8.
Technically, this monster rolled higher than you and has an initiative of -2.
Wow.
Otterkey, what was yours?
I rolled a 20, so it's 21,
Whoa!
which never happens.
Amethyst?
12.
12. Nira?
13.
13. Ket?
I'm doing better than last week.
Ket got 8.
A what?
8.
8. Oh, I thought you were saying Ket got A.
8. Ket got 8. 8. 8.
A8.
That is Canadian.
8. 8.
8, A.
8. A.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly.
Eight.
Cadence?
22.
22. There you go. All right.
Is this the first time Otterkey's ever gone first?
He's
Oh,
not going
okay.
first.
Cadence beat me.
By
Oh,
one.
by 1, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
always beats people by 1.
That's her
I
secret
claim
weapon.
it that way. Yeah. An
Sneaky
extra
bastard.
1.
All right. So let's go ahead and put you guys here on the map, and we can talk a little bit of. You can choose if you like to be, moved around a little bit. In fact, actually, let me adjust the map just a little bit to. So, as a reminder, from this barren crater of a blasted barren wasteland, you descended through this well about 60 feet down through a sphere of magical darkness. This horrible blob monster is hovering over the top of it. But down in the cavern, you found Pishwish the Eladrin, this guy right here. So, you guys tell me where you would be when this all starts. Like when you pulled the remains of the caretaker out of your bag of holding. Where were you all standing?
Right next to him.
All right.
I was also right next to him because I'd healed him.
Right. Anyone else want to choose a different spot?
Was Alaric wandering or looking at the walls and stuff? I'm trying to remember.
I don't exactly remember. It doesn't sound unusual for me.
All right. I mean, you guys could all just be crowded around him if you want.
Yeah, I may have been where Alaric was, probably crowded around.
I think I'm going to put myself 2 squares diagonal to Cadence.
Okay, like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Great. All right. Does that satisfy everybody? All right.
So, yep.
So satisfied.
Okay. So, I think basically what kicks this all off is, as you may recall, as we finished last time, you heard the Cybriacs in your heads say, "Well, isn't that interesting?" And you found yourself sensing that there's hostility in the air, and you felt like this is a problem. So, Cadence, you're up first.
Did anything happen when Nira took the caretaker's body out of the bag of holding?
That is what triggered the Sibriex to say that last bit.
But nothing happened, like, to Pishwish or the heart or
No.
anything like that? Okay. I am going to hold my action and knock an arrow in case something comes at us physically.
Right. Okay. All right. So, if anything comes from any direction, you will fire at it?
Yes, anything hostile.
All right. Well, I mean, would you wait until they actually attack?
I mean, if it looked like something gross and scary.
Fair. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
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 So,
But if it was like
just
another
some,
Eladrin or like one of the
handsome
Githyanki-
dragonborn in a tuxedo, you wouldn't just fire at them?
Yeah, probably not.
All right.
Like if like one of the Githyanki, I might take pause for a moment to make sure that they weren't, possessed, or to see if they were, coming at us with ill intent before I fired. But yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, so you are holding that action. Otterkey, what about you?
Similarly, I would take a defensive stance and I'll go ahead and use a bonus action for Shield of Faith.
Okay.
And
You can take the dodge action. That's a thing.
Well, yeah, I was thinking and I kind of thought, for some reason, I thought Paladins already had it, but so there's a reaction to be able to block a blow from somebody else. I don't know if I have to use dedicate my action to guard within 5 feet.
Is that
or
if that's
the reaction?
The protection fighting style?
Right. I guess that's what it is. I don't have that fighting style. Okay, so.
Yeah. And that would be a reaction usually, anyway.
Right.
All right.
So yeah, I'll take the dodge action.
Okay. So, you are taking the dodge action, ready if anything comes your way to try to avoid its attack.
Indeed.
All right. So, here's what happens next. Let me reveal them on the screen here. Is tumbling
Sneaky little
out
bugger.
of the magical darkness are 8 humanoid creatures just plummeting, like they just dove into the well and just fall. And they are falling. Several of them hit sort of randomly. But Alaric, make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, ready? 15.
All right, with a 15, you just managed to sidestep the one that was about to fall on your head. Cat,
Oh, that's good.
same deal. Dexterity saving throw.
24.
24. You also are able to avoid the thing as it plummets. So these things just tumble out of the sphere of magical darkness and just slam to the ground. Like nothing slows their fall. There's no acrobatics here. They just take it. But you immediately see that these were once standard humanoid shapes. And you think you see what might actually be remnants of Githyanki features. But these things are horribly deformed and distorted in all sorts of ways. Like, one arm is like 2 feet longer and doesn't seem to have any bones in it, and another leg is big and meaty while one is skinny, and their faces are all distorted. They're very deformed and mutated creatures, and I think as they land, each of you feels just this visceral wave of terror at what has befallen, apparently, these Githyanki warriors. But none of you actually have to make saving throws because Archie's... You all feel the reassuring presence of Archie's paladin aura steeling you against this supernatural terror. So, as these things, crush to the ground, they immediately scramble back to their feet and begin attacking. Alaric, you're getting 3 of them because you're right there. So that's going to be...
Would that trigger my reaction?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you
Okay.
firing at any one of these in particular? Or one?
Yeah, I'll fire at the one that's like right at his back.
There's one right next to you also, but yeah.
I'm more worried about Alaric.
Okay.
Oh.
That is a 17.
17 hits.
Okay. That's 10 points of damage.
All right. Okay. Any additional attacks, or that was just the held one?
Can I do like if I teleport the 10 feet? Can I do that?
You can do your full action.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll fire at I'll teleport 10 feet south.
Okay.
And fire at the one in front of Alaric.
Okay.
That one's 31 to hit.
Yeah, I think so.
That's 17 points.
Very nice.
And then I'll teleport behind Amethyst and fire at the one that's coming towards Nira that was right behind me before.
All right.
That is 29.
Mm-hmm.
13.
All right. So you are firing your arrows, and it is sinking into their horribly mutated flesh, almost like they don't seem to react with pain, but the arrow pierces their flesh simultaneously, like their flesh is actually a little bit rotten already. So it's almost a little too ready to be penetrated by the arrow, but also their reaction, like they don't actually care.
Okay.
All right. So now they're doing their thing. So first, Alaric, you're getting 3 of these attacks coming at you. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
That matches my armor class.
Alright. An 18 to hit and a 22 to hit. They rolled pretty well.
Yep.
Alright, so each one is going to do... so the first one is doing 16 piercing damage. And then there is another effect that you are immune to because of your immunity to poison. But the next one does 10 piercing damage, and then just 8 piercing damage.
All right.
Ket, you're getting 2 of them attacking you.
Okay, dude.
And that's going to be a 21 and a 23 to hit?
Yep. Both hits.
Okay. So, the first one does 13 piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw. Don't forget you are in Archie's aura, so it's an extra +4.
So 19 then.
Alright, that is a success. The next bite does 12 piercing damage and another Constitution saving throw.
24.
All right, that is another success. So these horrifying monstrosities come staggering at you and lunge at you with their horrible gaping jaws, and they manage to take a couple of chunks of fur off of you. And you can see their mouths are just dripping with some sort of a horrible toxic substance.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I need some Colgate.
All right. So, I think, Archie, you're getting 2. They're going to have a harder time hitting you, I think. That's a 12. And another 12. So they both miss you. Nira, you're getting 1 attack as well. And that's a 12. So I think that also misses you.
Yes.
All right. So that is the Rutterkin is the name of the creature type that these things are. But the next thing that happens is a legendary action as I need Otterkey, Ket, and Alaric to make Constitution saving throws.
Let's see. 16.
Okay, that's a fail.
12.
22.
22 is a success, 12 also fails. So, Alaric, you are now immune to this feature. Once you beat it, once you're immune. But Otterkey and Ket, you feel just this strange wave of upsetting, chaotic energy descending on you that you feel just like scrambles your thoughts for a moment. But then you feel shaky and just wobbly in general, and you are currently now poisoned and have 1 level of exhaustion. And you're going to have to now make Constitution saving throws at the end of each of your turns, and until you basically get 3 successes or 3 failures.
Okay.
But a different thing happens also for each of you. So I need each of you to roll percentile dice for me, please.
$100.
100.
Oh, wow. I was
Extremes
confused.
are never
Oh,
good.
no. So I got a 0, 0, and a 5, so it's just 5. Right.
Okay.
No, both extremes.
Otterkey, you find your skin and hair starting to change color, and you soon find that all of your skin and your hair has now become zebra striped, black and white like zebra stripes. Ket, you suddenly feel a startling, like swelling, aching pain on the side of your neck that just balloons and grows like you've got a giant pimple, but it keeps growing and keeps growing and growing until you have grown a second head.
Oh no.
Oh my god, you stupid goiter! What are you doing? Oh!
He's trying to
Now,
harmonize with himself.
Duet, yeah.
God.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
duet.
so you actually, by having a second head, now have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, frightened, or stunned.
All right. Hey, 2 heads are better than 1.
Yeah. All right, so that happens. Now, Nira, it's your turn.
So weird. Do I know if these things are they undead?
You can make a religion check.
Okay.
Unless, or if you feel like some other skill would be more appropriate, you could do that.
No, that'll work. That is a 26.
Okay. You look to them. They don't actually, they have some superficial similarities with things like zombies and other undead sorts of creatures, but it really more resembles something like if something had sort of like a malignant growth left unchecked or some sort of an infection. It looks more like that, only just to horrific levels. So these things do look very bad off, but you do believe they are technically alive, not undead.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of still holding the remnants of the renegade. So
Yeah?
I feel like I should probably put that away first. I like that. Would that count as my action? Or?
I think that normally getting something in or putting something in the bag of holding wouldn't be an action, but because this is like a sizable thing, that I think it would be an action.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna have to do that, and yeah, so I'll put that away, and then bonus action healing word on head.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's not. I'm trying to hold on to spells, so it's not.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for your consideration.
Doing it
So-
my best.
Cat, which head talks?
Right now it's just me. I'm saving the other one.
All right.
Take 8.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So that's Nira's turn. Do you want to move at all? Also, are you on the ground or are you like flying at some height? The height of the cave is only about 20 feet, except for where the shaft is.
I was on the ground, like I don't. So I don't know. I'm kind of trying. I guess there's not really too much point to trying to protect Pishwish because, like, can't die. And I think if I move, because I'm in melee range, I'll take an opportunity attack. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. All right, Amethyst, you are next.
So, Amethyst is going to cast Ice Storm, which is so it's a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. I'd like to have it centered to get as many of these little beasties as possible, which is kind of half over the water. Gets 4 of them.
So
yeah.
20-foot radius is actually pretty big. That's not a circle. 20-foot radius is like.
What? Are these not 5-foot squares?
They are, but it's radius, not diameter. So it's basically that big.
I can't cast it smaller than that.
No. Although, so it could be that you can rely on your friends to be tougher than that.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with Cat right now.
Why not, man? Just hit me.
Can you center it further over to my right? I don't know what it is for you.
You can
so
center
that it gets
wherever you want.
further into the cave wall, away from Cat, so that it clears all the way over to the side without getting any of my crew.
Right.
I think you can still get 3 maybe if you.
So if you don't want it to hit any of your allies, then you could do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that still gets 3. That works.
All right.
And so that is a Dex saving throw. They have to. It's against 18,
All
or
right.
versus 18, or however you say it.
Sure.
Fancy terms.
This one gets a 21.
Okay.
So he'll probably still take half. But the other 2 got an 11 and a 7.
Nice. Okay, so it's 2d8 bludgeoning damage, which is 9. And then 4d6 cold damage, which is 16. Ooh. So for a total of, what was that?
So it was 9 bludgeoning damage, and then you just said 16?
16, yeah.
Okay, so what you notice is they seem to shrug off the cold more than you would expect. It still freezes them some, but it doesn't seem to bother them as much as you might expect. You wonder if maybe a lot of their nerve endings are ruined already. But we do have, so it's going to be, it'll be, gosh, I need to do math. Okay, 17 damage to the 2 that failed. And then just 13 damage to the other one. And that one is looking pretty bad.
She
So-
is also, now that she's got their attention, she's gonna change into wild shape.
Okay.
I'm not. So, are we on the ground? Are we in the air? Are we in the
No,
well?
you're on the ground in this cavern at the bottom of the well.
Okay. So she's going to change into. Can I have a second to figure that out?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Is Ice Storm one that sticks around, or is it just the one round?
I believe it makes it hailstones turn it into difficult terrain until the end of my next turn.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, runners.
Well, you kind of the place you cast it, it really is not going to impact any of you guys, probably.
Hopefully.
All right. So you can think on your wild shape for a little bit if you like, and
Thank
we
you.
can move on to Kat. You are next.
What am I going to do with this other head? And I really want to do some fun stuff, but instead I'll just dimension door right next to the other side of Nira.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Hey, baby," and then my other head will be like, "How you doing?"
Very nice. Well, I it's subjective, I guess. I'm amused. All right. I need Otterkey to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh wait, don't I have to make some kind of saving throw at the end of each of my turns?
Oh, yes, you do.
What is that?
Yeah,
Constitution?
Constitution. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
24.
24. That is a success, so you can mark down 1 success.
Okay.
You do this until you have 3 successes or 3 failures.
Correct, yes. Okay. I got it.
All right.
And we got a 6 for dex saving throw.
Okay, well, as you
59
might have
saving
guessed, that's a failure. So give me a moment to add up some dice.
throw. Awesome.
Uh, 32 acid damage as this squirt of just caustic chemical liquid sprays down through the magical darkness and just splashes all over you. So that's 32 acid damage. All right. That makes it Alaric, your turn.
Okay, well, let's see if this works. Something different. I begin to hakalugi, and I make a gesture with my hand, and then spew forth a bubble of acid on the 2 in front of me. They have to make dexterity saving throws.
All right. One gets a 13,
It's not enough.
and one gets an 11.
That's not enough. That's not a huge amount of damage, but it's something.
Sure.
That is 9 points of acid damage.
All
It does
right.
anything to them.
They are not resistant to acid damage. So it was these 2?
Yeah, because they're side by each.
Right.
I use my bonus action to make a backswing on the one behind me.
It was 9, you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I use my my bonus action for a backswing.
All right.
That is only a 17 to hit the one behind me.
Okay. And a 17 definitely hits this thing.
Cool. It's sneak attack because I'm the only one near it.
Mm-hmm.
For let's see, 26 points of slashing damage.
This thing. This
Magical.
thing just explodes. Your axe just goes right through it, and it just like splatters everywhere.
It's highly effective.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Okay.
That one was already pretty injured. But,
okay.
Yeah, but yes, you also did hit it really good.
And then I'm going to proceed to. I only did the melee on the one, but that's okay. I can take an attack. Oh yeah, heal a little bit. And I'm going to walk basically southwest one square. So one of them will get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It
Yeah, they both will in the
tries
end, I
to
guess.
bite you, and it gets a 15.
That misses.
All right.
And then I'm basically beelining it for the thing.
Which? Oh, for
Straight for Pishwish.
the
and the rest of the
thing.
group.
All right.
Sorry, I lost words for a moment there. But
Nope,
the other
no
one will
problem.
get an attack opportunity as soon as I
Okay.
get closer.
Yeah. That one gets a 22.
That's a hit.
All right. So that's going to be 15 piercing damage, and then once again you avoid the poison element of the bite.
Okay.
All right, but now at the end of your turn, make another Constitution saving throw.
I succeeded the first time.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was Otterkey that was the other one that failed. My apologies. Okay, that's the end of Alaric's turn. Okay. Let's see. I think. Yeah, I think Alaric, you need to make a Wisdom saving throw for me.
What's the bonus for being near him?
4. But
4?
it's actually a 30-foot radius, so you can, pretty
Oh.
much this whole area here is within his aura now. Now that he's
That's a 10.
big old grown-up paladin. So you are running over there to the rest of your friends, but as you are approaching them, you suddenly find yourself, your muscles just going rigid, and you are held. And you hear in your voice and just say, "Why don't you just hold still for a moment?" And then I think you all, let's see. Yeah, then I need Alaric and Amethyst and Cadence to make a Constitution. No, okay, I'm sorry. Alaric succeeded on this one already. Never mind, I'm doing a different thing. Alaric, you are going to fail a Dexterity saving throw because you are paralyzed.
It makes it tougher.
Yeah. And so you are going to take. Excuse me. I'm going to use a roller for that. You're
Those are
taking
great words.
10d6 acid
Yeah.
damage is what it is. So
There we go.
31 acid damage as another spray of this caustic liquid squirts down. All right. That is the top of the initiative again. So, Cadence, you are once again up.
I take the Seeker and I bring it to my face and I say, "Seeker, that blobby thing is a horrible, horrible creature who has been tormenting this poor little Eladrin.
It has been a while since I've seen such a worthy target.
And I fire a shot up
Right.
into the hole using the because I can't see it, can I?
No, because it's actually like line of sight would be a thing, but then there's also magical darkness in between.
Seeking arrow.
All right. Just remind me how the rules of that one work.
the arrow flies toward the creature. I don't make an attack roll for the attack. Instead, I choose one creature I've seen in the past minute. The arrow flies towards that creature, moving around corners if necessary and ignoring 3/4 target and half cover.
Okay. I'm going to say that it's a stretch to say that you've seen it in the last minute, but we'll do it fine. I'm just saying it's like...
Yeah, that's true. We were down there for a while.
Yeah. But
Okay.
but I'm going to allow it in this case.
Okay.
So it makes a dexterity saving throw, you said? Or
Yes.
Okay. It's not good at those.
Yay.
It gets a 6.
Okay, so it takes the damage as if it were hit by the arrow plus an extra 1d6 force damage.
Nice.
And I learn its current location, so I know exactly where it is from now on.
All right.
So that's not the right dice. So that's 13 regular and 3 force damage.
All
So
right.
16 total.
Okay, and you realize now that it has descended partway in through the shaft until it is more like at the center of the sphere of darkness, and so it is about 45 feet off the ground.
Okay, so I'm going to use my bonus action to Hunter's Mark it,
Okay.
and then fire my second shot at it.
All right.
That is a 32.
All right. 32 definitely hits.
Okay. That is... $13 plus... 5, so 18.
Okay. 18 damage. Okay. After that, you suddenly hear in your head, well, now that won't do at all. And I need you to make a... Let's see, which saving throw is this one? An intelligence saving throw.
Oh, I'm dead.
Don't forget your +4.
Right. Thank you. So 18.
I'm afraid that's a failure.
Yeah.
You are going to... Let's see. First, you take 18 psychic damage.
I have resistance, so
Right,
that
so
would be
it would
9.
be 9. 9 psychic
Okay.
damage. But you also suddenly find your ability to process complex thoughts, your ability to organize and plan and think about what you want to do. Just every time you try to process a thought, it just dissolves in your head, like that horribly funny, sad video about the raccoon trying to wash cotton candy in the river, and it just disappears.
Oh god.
Your intelligence and charisma scores become 1. You cannot cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. You have been feeble-minded.
Okay.
So I think the rest of you see Cadence just kind of get a little bit of a glassy stare. All right. That makes it Otterkey's turn.
Oh. Okay, so I have this one feature of my cleansing touch.
Mm-hmm.
You can use your action to end one spell on yourself or on one willing creature that you touch. So I don't know if what we're affected by. Oh no, it wasn't a spell. It was goo.
Meaning the thing that
Can't remember.
changed you colors, you mean?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
I mean, that was it wasn't a.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the exhaustion. I got exhaustion and.
Yeah, I think if it can it cure exhaustion though. I think that cleansing touch might be things like poisoned and
Gotcha.
charmed and stuff.
Yeah, it's very vague. It just says end one spell.
Alaric
on
is currently
yourself.
paralyzed. It would definitely.
Cool. Yeah, I'll touch him and
definitely do that.
unparalyze him.
All right.
Probably might also help somebody who can't think, but you know.
It would not be powerful enough to undo feeble mind. I mean.
Cool.
wouldn't
So yeah, I will
necessarily know
touch
that.
Alaric and cleanse. You are cleansed.
So yes, Alaric, as Otterkey lays his zebra-striped hand upon you, you find yourself once again able to voluntarily control your body.
Ah, that was terrible.
And I don't really have another bonus action to do, so.
Are you gonna move?
No, I don't want to get in anybody's way. I'll just
Alright.
stand here and then
All right, make another
take on the dudes in front of me.
Constitution saving throw.
Alright, come on, call. 16.
16 is another failure, and when you are when you fail that second time, you now have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Womp womp.
All right, so that makes it the Rutterkin's turn now. So first, Nira, you're getting 2 of them.
Okay.
That's going to be a 7, probably not, and then a 6.
No.
Archie, you are getting another one. That one gets a 16. I think that probably misses.
Nope. Miss.
Alaric, you're getting 1. That's a 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
All right. Oh, high rolls on the damage that time. That's going to be 18 piercing damage.
I'll use my reaction to
Okay.
have that damage.
All right. You do that. This one runs up and attacks Amethyst. Oh, Amethyst, did you ever decide what your wild shape was?
I'm gonna mispronounce it, but Quetzalcoatlus.
Okay. Hang on, let me
Quetzalcoatl.
see.
Giant bird.
Okay.
It's a huge beast. It flies.
Like a Mayan
Alright.
dragon.
Okay. Are there stats for that in the D&D Beyond?
Oh, they're in my companion guide, my companion app. Let me see if they're in D&D Beyond. I'm sorry.
All right. How do you spell it?
Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh, it is in there. It is not. Oh, it is a beast. Look at that. All right. Yeah. I'm afraid I don't have a token for a Quetzalcoatlus.
That's okay.
And it's huge too.
Yes, it's
Wow.
a huge beast. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So hang on. You basically have turned into an enormous, like, pterodactyl-like thing. It says relative of the pteranodon in this, which is great. I love that. Let's see if I have a good.
So
token.
can I ask one question of the DM, because this is something Amethyst would have considered, was whether
Okay.
she could fit out that hole.
Oh,
Out the
yes.
well.
Yes, barely. You would not be able to just
Okay.
fly in a standard way, but you would kind of like sort of work your way up.
Okay.
I'm
mental
gonna
picture
use
is
this,
amazing.
I'm going to use this Griffin token.
Okay.
So we'll move that one over to there. And so this Griffin token, but you are this big. So this thing comes over and tries to bite you anyway.
Of course it does. I mean,
and it gets a crit.
I
It
look
gets a natural
delicious.
20. So it is going to do.
I didn't know it was that big, y'all.
Go big or go home, or go big
Yeah.
and go home.
16, 20.
Clearly, I have to polymorph into a
It
T-Rex
does
now.
24 24 piercing damage.
Okay.
Wow, for a huge beast, it's not actually got a ton of.
I know.
hit
It's only a CR2,
right.
but it's big.
But
Big enough to carry these fools out.
yes, but now I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw. You're actually going to need to make. No, never mind. You don't need to make concentration checks for wild shape, but you do for the poison.
14.
A 14.
Do I use
is,
my?
You use the.
Do I
crystal
use mine or
coalesce.
theirs? Okay, yeah, it's 14.
All right. Yeah, that is the success.
Okay.
So you have been bitten badly on your large but light frame, but you are able to resist the poison.
How much damage was that?
It was 24.
Okay.
All right. Now we got these two guys running over. That's going to be one more for Nira and one more for Otterkey. It's a 14 for Nira and a 10 for Otterkey. But then here's the thing is that 4 more drop in. Splat. Splat. Splash. Splash.
Christiana, I would have moved over by near. Never mind. I can't move because I was attacked. I didn't attack. It wasn't my turn yet, right?
No, because you did your wild shape at the end of your last turn.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so that is their turn. That makes it. Nira, your turn.
Oh, this is not good. Not good, not good. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give it a shot because have to at least try.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab Ket and Pishwish,
Okay.
and as soon as everyone's got a hold of one another, I'm gonna try to use plane shift. See if it
Oh.
works.
Okay.
And just get us out of here. So I'll just yell, "Everybody grab hold. We're gonna try."
All right. I think that you hear. Let's say. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm thinking. I'm having to figure out how to use this spell, but what you hear in your head is it's like, "Oh no, I don't think you'll be leaving just yet." And you feel like magic targeting you, and let's see, charisma. So it's So your nascent magic is dispelled.
So
as-
that was something specifically targeting me.
yes.
No saving throw.
Well, okay. I will say that what it did, it cast the spell, Dispel Magic. And so it had to make a check to see if it was able to dispel a 7th level magical effect.
Okay. Because I'm just like, I have never used this ring of spell turning, so
Yeah.
I was just curious if it was something that was gonna.
This wouldn't, that particular thing wouldn't, but for example, like if it tries to feeble mind you, it would work for that.
Okay.
All right, or some other spell, like the way it paralyzed Alaric. Those sorts of spells would. In this case, technically, dispel magic is targeting a magical effect, not you.
Okay.
But-
So basically, that spell slot gets burned, or.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well, shit. Okay.
So
Yeah.
All right. Do you have? You want to try to do any bonus action or movement?
I'm just gonna drop my hold and nope, try to think of something else.
All right. Amethyst, you would be next.
Would she know that Nira's spell failed?
I think so, because you guys have seen her cast this plane shift spell before, and I think you see her beginning to channel the magical energy and sort of like runes appearing on the ground in her vicinity, and
Right.
but then you see a sort of ripple in the air, and all of that just kind of poofs, and she looks surprised and startled. So I think you understand what, if not why, you understand what happened.
How far is Amethyst from the beastie up top that Cadence hit with Hunter's Mark?
It's about halfway up the spell shaft, so it was like 45 feet is what I said before.
Okay. Amethyst is going to attack the critter closest, just below Alaric,
Okay, yeah.
with just a bite attack.
Okay.
17.
That hits.
Cool. So that's 8 points of damage.
All right. You
Piercing damage.
you tear a chunk of flesh off of this thing's frame, and it tastes bitter. Like, not rotten, but just like chemically
Okay.
acrid. All right. Are you gonna move or fly or anything?
Just going to move closer in between Cadence and Alaric, so I'm closer to Nira.
Okay. So you can. We'll say that. Here, I will put you like this, but move to the back just so we can see where everyone else is.
Cool,
But
cool,
you were
cool.
actually
Perfect.
above them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And I think you definitely spot that Cadence doesn't look okay. She looks like nobody's home right now, but that. I mean, it's not even that. Actually, I take that back. She looks well. So Cadence, what would Cadence's reaction be? Like, she can't process complicated thoughts or language, but your emotions are still there. You still recognize your friends, even if you can't like make your mouth say their name or anything. But you understand this is dangerous. Scary things are happening. What would Cadence be doing?
You ever see a cat that somebody gave Benadryl to? Like, they just drool non-stop. She would literally just be standing there drooling and trying to process what's even happening, but not being able to at all.
So seeing that, would Amethyst be able to like hold a wing in a certain way to protect her from anything else that might be coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can kind of position yourself to try to, cover her, so anything would try to attack you before her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And anything that splashes around doesn't hit her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ket, you're up.
Man, oh man. Seeing. Oh. Man. Gotta save my girlfriend. I'm gonna run over and grab Cadence.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to try and dimension door out of here.
Okay, like back up to the surface?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I don't have like a map for the surface.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but so the rest of you basically see, the familiar dimension door spell, but they just kind of they wink out and you don't see where they go. But what you see, Ket, let's see if I can unselect. I can't unselect the.
Get out of the way, bird!
Yeah. So Ket, tell me how you feel when you appear on the surface with Cadence to see the top of that well and the blasted crater landscape.
Mm-hmm. How do I feel?
But there are hundreds of these Rudderkin things converging on the well. And so that's, I guess, that's what you see when you dimension door up there. And you see that not all of them seem to have been former Githyanki. Some of them must have been other kinds of creatures, but they're alike in their random deformities.
I see all that, and I feel like it's like the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when you see all those like vampires coming up through the Hellmouth.
Yeah.
And I hold on to the feebled Cadence, and I just a tear streams down my cheek, and I just kiss her and I just say I'm sorry, and I just hold on for dear life.
All right. That is Ket's turn. And next is Alaric.
I'm a little confused as to where Otterkey is. He looked like he's halfway through a square. Just because he's...
Right, I mean, he's right here. He's just
okay.
right directly
We
above
just see him
you.
on the shoulders up for some reason. Okay. So he's occupying that space. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I am once again going to Haka Loogie.
Okay.
This time past Otterkey towards the two that are north of him beside Nerkina.
Okay. So these two?
Yes.
All right.
So again, a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That's a 9 and a 20. So one
So
succeeds.
the
and
20
other fails.
succeeds, no damage, and 9 takes 12 points of acid damage.
All right.
And again, I will do a backswing on the one south of me, my bonus action.
Okay.
Let's see those. That's a total of dirty 20 to hit
Okay. Definitely hits.
for 21 points of slashing damage.
Okay. That one, I believe, was another one that had already been somewhat injured, and so that many points makes that one dead again. Or, it's not dead again, but you have once again made a thing dead.
Okay. And I guess that's... Actually, I'm going to No. Yeah, okay. I'll stay where I am, I think.
Okay. All right. That makes it the Cybriex's turn. And it is going to... Let's see. So I think Nira and Amethyst need to make the Constitution saving throws. So remember, you've got your +4s.
+20, not natural.
Just success. Only just. Yeah.
8.
Yeah. So, Amethyst, you are now poisoned and
Fun.
have 1 level of exhaustion, which is disadvantage on ability checks. And please roll percentile dice for me.
No. 28.
28. Okay. Your Quetzalcoatlus form grows a second pair of wings behind the first one.
Oh my god, I'm so cool, you guys. I look so cool.
They're weird leathery wings, and I would think that it's actually kind of awkward to. They're in the way of your regular wings.
Of course, I mean, they would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So that happens.
Is it a cute landing, at least? With an 8? Because I was flying.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily tumble to the ground. You can kind of, I think, you can land safely. I think you probably could still fly also, but it's just more difficult. All right. So that is, I think you all hear in your minds, you hear this thing's voice just kind of say, "You know, I'm happy to continue this combat, but you could just surrender that marvelous little toy you've got, and I could make the rest of this much easier for you." All right, that is the end of that round. So we're once again back at the top. Cadence, you are with Ket. He's familiar. You know he's safe. But you also know that you're in a very scary place.
I just start to cry. Because I don't know what to do.
All right.
So I just cry. And I'm weirded out by the fact that Ket has 2 heads, because somewhere I know he only had 1 before.
Right. You don't. It's hard to understand why that doesn't seem right somehow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. Otterkey.
So, he has no clue what's going on up top, and he's thinking Big Bang. So, he will cast Ice Storm, which will create a 20-foot column.
Okay.
He wants to try to get as many of these bad guys as he can.
I'm just laughing because that was the same thing that
Mm-hmm.
did earlier. Let's see. So let's. I think it's about like that.
Well,
Yeah. So you can. Let's see. I think probably that gets the most. That kind of gets you. Here you go. I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them.
cool.
All right. Go ahead and figure out the
So it's a
damage. I will roll
Dex
these.
saving throw. Oh, right.
That's going to be 2
I had
failures.
it open. Here we go.
3 failures, 1 success. 3 failures, 3 successes. Okay, 3 failures, 4 successes. Well, actually, what is the DC? No, those were all pretty, actually. Those successes were all pretty high. What is the DC?
Sorry, DC is 18.
Oh, okay, so it's actually 5 successes to, 5 failures, 2 successes.
Wait, 10. $32 total.
Wow. Okay. So a couple of them are just frozen solid. Hang on, let's. 2. Yeah, so this guy. Alright, let me. Those two are just frozen solid. One of them looks really bad. Hang on. Alright, yeah, you have done a lot of damage to several of these. A lot of these creatures. So a lot of the ones remaining are looking in really good shape. Or really bad shape, I should say. You know, a couple of the ones that weren't in that column, though, are still doing okay, but all the ones in there are looking pretty bad. And two of them just sort of topple over, frozen, and then just kind of collapse into, slushy. All right. Any additional actions or anything?
No, I like where I'm at.
Okay.
I'll just say, ideas. Put the suit on him.
All right. That is Otterkey's turn. It is these things' turn. And 4 more of them drop in. And they are slipping and skating on the ice in that spot. But we also have Nira, you're getting 1 attack. That's cocked. It's a 6. Otterkey, you're getting 2. It's an 18 and a 15. I think those both miss. Yeah. This guy is gonna run up, so you're getting 2 also, Alari. That's a 9 and an 18.
The 18 hits.
All right, 18 is gonna do 14 piercing damage. All right. So yeah, you are seeing up on the surface, Ket, that most of these things, like you have managed to maybe tuck yourself into a little bit of a rock outcropping where you're not quite so visible to these hordes that are converging on the well, but you're seeing them like climb all over each other to try to just jump down the well, and they're surrounding up there.
Okay.
That was their turn. So Nira, it is your turn now.
Okay, so this is not looking good. Like, I have a feeling these things are just gonna keep coming and coming, and just kind of searching for some kind of plan, something. And I'm going to throw a Hail Mary. I'm going to try something that I've never used before, and it has a pretty high chance of failure, but I am going to use my Divine Intervention option.
Okay.
Literal Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that in just a second. Otterkey, at the end of your turn, you should have 1 more Constitution saving throw.
Oh, yeah. 19, 24.
That's a success. So you still need like 3 successes to end the effect entirely, but that is 1 success. All right. So
Yay.
Nira, your Divine Intervention. Can you read the rules for how that works?
All right, it says imploring your deity's aid requires you to use your action. Describe the assistance you seek and roll percentile dice. If you roll a number equal to or lower than your cleric level, your deity intervenes. The DM chooses the nature of the intervention. The effect of any cleric spell or cleric domain spell would be appropriate.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like a 20th level, this automatically succeeds, but like it's like I have to roll an 18 or lower on percentile dice.
Yeah.
So.
So there's a chance.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Essentially, what I'm asking for is for myself and Pishwish and, you know, my friends, my companions. We need to get out of here to get somewhere safe. I'm just kind of silently imploring Rushama, if there is anything you can do, please. So
Okay.
that's already a bust because I rolled
Oh.
30 and a 60. So yeah, nah.
So I think you tap into, like, what does it feel like when you do this beseeching? Like, do you feel like it used to when you would pray to Rushama, or are you appealing to something inside yourself, or how does it feel? Like, what is Nira's mindset when doing this?
Well, I'm still very at odds with all of this. Because I know Rushama as he was is not any longer. So it's very much tapping into a like a well inside myself almost. Yet sort of separate at the same time. It's very hard to describe. But yeah, there's definitely some desperation in there, and just trying very, very hard and reaching for this power that I know is slumbering somewhere within me.
Right. But nonetheless, you feel, for whatever reason, that energy, that spiritual power is not ready to manifest itself.
It's this place. I hate this place.
All right. Amethyst.
So Amethyst is going to drop down and change out of wild shape back
Okay.
into her human form. But she's going to land as close as she can to Archie. And I think Greater Restoration.
Okay.
She would know. I'm not sure. But
I looked it up. It is Greater Restoration. Well, and most of this stuff. So.
Okay, yeah. So she'll cast Greater Restoration on Archie.
Okay. So we will go ahead. I will just remind everyone to keep an eye on what the material components for these things are, but I'm not. I will say that you do have it.
Right, yeah. That is something I remember stocking up on, making sure that we had this, like...
Right.
But I will make sure that I make a note of that.
Yes. So, Otterkey, you find these strange zebra stripes on your skin fade back to your normal, natural red coloration, and you feel much better. The effect that was on you is ended. I think it heals one. Did you have 2 levels of exhaustion?
I did have 2.
It heals one of them. So you still have 1 level of exhaustion, but you are otherwise, like, not poisoned. You aren't continuing to make the saves. The color change went away.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other actions, Amethyst?
Oh, no, I can't do any other actions, no.
Okay. All right. Ket. You are up there feeling what? Despair or?
Ket is. My heart is going a million miles a minute right now. I didn't know this was gonna happen. Ket is feeling absolutely just. he's at the end. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to get out of this. He's looking down at Cadence, and he's thinking about how this all started and how it all happened, and he doesn't know how to finish this except by wishing for one thing.
Whoa. Yeah?
And the only thing that he can think to wish for at this time is, I just want this all to be over. And I just wish that that stupid, stolen moment would be put back into its rightful spot on the timeline, so we can be done with all of this.
Okay, so.
And he didn't, and I didn't set out to break the game. I know we didn't talk about this, but this is the only thing in this moment that Ket can think to wish for.
Well,
and if you have to end the game here to talk about it or to think about it,
I'm fascinated and intrigued and just considering, because I kind of gave you a moment that in my mind I was thinking it was technically before your turn. I was just wanting to kind of set the stage before something else happened. But I do want to reward big sorts of storytelling choices like that. So, okay.
I don't know. I leave it up to you. I mean, Ket is like, just like, the tears are flowing, and he's just, this is all he can think to do.
Yeah, okay. So, let's establish, though, very specifically what he wishes for. Because, I mean, like, I understand, like, in the moment you're kind of sort of off the cuff, so let's figure it out what it is exactly, and then we'll...
The entire end game that we're on right now is to fix the stolen moment. So that is what he's wishing for, that he's wishing that the stolen moment would be put back to its rightful spot on the timeline, and whatever the consequences that come from that, that is what he wants to happen. He just thinks that is going to end everything that they are going through right now, and that they will have to just deal with whatever consequences will come from that. But he that is their end game right now. The Heroes of Legend is to put that stolen moment back.
Yeah.
And that is what he wants to do to end everything right now. Not end their lives, not end the Heroes of Legend or anything like that. He just wants to end all this pain and suffering. And he wants Cadence to be okay, and he just wants his friends to be okay, and he just wants it all to stop.
Right. Okay. So give me a moment here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I get it.
Sure.
It. This is like I feel like I'm breaking the game somehow, but this is the only
don't
thing
feel bad about it. I mean, it puts me on the spot, but in a cool way. Like, I mean, this is like, having huge, dramatic, unforeseen consequences of big, world-altering decisions is like, that's what you want out of high-level D&D, right?
I'm just like, oh.
Okay, so,
everything fades to black.
Yeah. All right, I think we are actually going, you kind of joke about fading to black, but I think that from Ket's experience, that is kind of what happens. And, I'm going to take us off of the combat map here. So, Ket, you find yourself sort of adrift, and for a moment you can't even, like, more even than not being able to see or sense anything around you, you kind of realize you can't really even feel your own body. you can think, you feel yourself thinking, you are able to process that you're not able to sense anything else around you. But it's darkness the way having your eyes closed is darkness, in the sense that you don't know whether there is light or not, but you can't see it. But then again, you also don't know if there's sound, but you can't, if there is, you can't hear it. If there's anything to be felt, you can't feel it. But you can think. And you drift for a while there in that state. And honestly, it would be very hard to tell how long goes by. You are just in this void for a while. But then you do suddenly realize that you can see, because there's a flash. It's a flash of light, and it looks like in all of the heavens around you, there's one star in the distance. And you don't feel any sense of motion, but nonetheless feel it, either yourself approaching it or it approaching you. And as it finally starts to get close, it resolves into kind of a glowing crystal orb. And here's a question I'm actually trying to think of. Like, did Ket and Cadence ever actually see the stolen moment? Did they ever see it out of the box?
Yeah, we did.
Maybe Melicanth?
Yeah.
Did she
Briefly?
show it to us?
Because
Yeah,
there
we've
was a
seen it.
point where, like, you guys all wanted to make her prove that she still had it or something.
I don't think Alaric's ever seen it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. remember
I don't
seeing
feel
it.
like we did, but I don't remember.
Regardless,
If she
you
would have
feel
put it out, it would have been on the Gith Yankee ship.
that's
going
what I
through
was
the-
thinking, is that there was a moment where you guys were trying to basically say, you know, prove you have it. Let's talk about whether it's safe where it is, where it could be, and that sort of thing. But the point is that you know intuitively that that's what this is. I mean, you understood from the primal knowledge you received during your Thriae honey trip, perfect understanding of this artifact, what it can do, what it is, how it works. And you realize that you can see this orb and it's glowing, but as you get closer, you're able to perceive and resolve that glow a little more clearly. And what you realize is that it's not just a homogeneous light. It is, in fact, the light of a multiverse contained inside it. And you realize that this is the stolen moment, and what it currently has inside it is everything. You can think your own thoughts. Do you have any to share, or you're just kind of like...
I'm trying not to throw up. I am shaking so hard right now. He just looks at it. And he's just like, how can something so beautiful cause so much devastation?
You hear a
And he
voice in your head say, "Is it devastation?"
My friends are dying. Cadence is dying. Everything around me is dying.
It is the nature of mortal creatures to die. That is the order of things. When you wished what you wished, your desire was for it to be over. And now it is.
What happens next?
Nothing. It's over.
Where's Cadence? Where's Nira and Amethyst and Archie and Alaric? Where did they go?
There's no figure there to gesture, but the glow from the orb seems to pulse a little bit as though indicating an answer.
Does it? Do I feel like they are alive, or do I feel like they are like safe?
There is
In that answer that he that
Oh,
is pulsed, like, is there like a warmth to it? Or?
No, it's not really any of those things. It's more just a matter of where are they? They are in there. There is a relationship between space and time. The stolen moment takes time. But what is time if not the effect on space? To take time requires space. That is why it left the multiverse unstable when a moment was removed. It was like a hole. Now, it is stable. Everything is present inside.
Then it's over. Then my friends are safe then. Cadence is alive. They're alive, and I don't know what the hell I am, but as long as they're safe. That's all I wanted.
It's relative, of course. Safety. They are safe because nothing else will ever happen to them.
I don't understand.
Nothing bad will happen. Nothing good will happen. Nothing will happen. It's over.
I thought putting the moment back would release some kind of weird demon creature. That's what we were told. This whole thing, the moment would be put back, and we'd have to deal with the consequences of that. And what do you mean nothing is going to ever happen to them again? I don't understand.
Everything within the stolen moment is as it was when it was placed inside, and will remain in that state forever. But this has happened before. There was nothing. And then the forces of law and the forces of chaos fought over the fundamental vibrations of existence. And their battleground became something. But before that, it was nothing. The forces of law long for the orderliness of nothing. The forces of chaos want to tear every something down. Now, the forces of law and the forces of chaos are satisfied. And the multiverse is safe from both of them.
Okay.
You are not at peace with this.
I don't. How do I? Where am I?
The power of the immense magic you wielded lifted your consciousness out of the multiverse as you understood it. It could not be placed in the moment without someone to place it. A will to take an action. And by doing that, you have separated yourself from it. So you are here. Tell me what you are feeling right now.
I'm very confused.
This was not the outcome you wished? That you wanted?
It's not that it's not what I wanted, because I didn't know what to expect either way when the moment was put back. I expected something a little different, but...
Can I tell you something that I hope may offer some comfort?
Yes.
The forces of pure law, the inexorables, and the forces of pure chaos from the far realm, they didn't know what they were doing either. Neither pure law nor pure chaos is capable of intent. They describe only states of being. There's no will. To desire an outcome, plan for it, and seek to achieve it requires will of a type that is not possible for either of these types of creatures. It is why they have never understood their own creation. The creation that is the collaboration of both sides, bitter enemies though they may see themselves. Neither is satisfied with the result. Both seek to destroy the other. And yet, it is the push and pull of their battle that makes everything else exist. They don't know what they've created. they don't understand what they've created. It takes a will and a balance of order and of chaos to see the universe and understand it.
So, within that multiverse there in front of me, there's no chaos. Is there peace?
Of a sort. But
Are people living? Are
they are frozen. Much in the way your friends and family in Emerald Arboris were frozen in the amber, like you and Cadence were frozen in stone. They are frozen in the artifact. But there is an opportunity now. And at this point, you sort of realize that you can vaguely sort of feel a physical form. And the first thing that you really sense with it is a hand on your shoulder. And as you kind of turn to look, you realize that you see a full, complete form of the caretaker. And then there's another hand on your other shoulder, and you look, and it's Grandmother Praxis. And she says, "You've hidden it away from both sides. And they can't find it again, and I suspect are not necessarily very interested in doing so anyway." And the caretaker says, "Right now, in that artifact, the multiverse is frozen. And it's frozen because it does not have the animating energies of the battle between order and chaos. If the inexorables and the beings of the far realm are to be kept separated from that universe, it will need something else to animate it. It needs will and creatures who can be a balance of order and chaos, and capable, at last, of understanding the creation. Do you believe that you and your friends are up to this task?"
No, I don't. That's why I'm here in the first place, because I don't believe in anything.
Well, you can always leave it the way it is. Grandmother Praxis pokes you in the ribs and says, "Don't be stupid now. We worked really hard to get you to this point, and you kind of skipped a couple of steps, but..."
We say, you guys want to roll new characters? I don't know how to undo what I just did. I can't unwish a wish.
You don't have to unwish a wish. What you just need to do is give your new little self-contained multiverse a bit of a kickstart. We can help you with that.
Will everything be the same when I go back?
No, I think that's pretty safe to say. It will not be the same. For one, the inexorables will not be looking for you to return anything to them, because as far as they know, The multiverse is over. Experiment concluded. The caretaker says, and the creatures of the far realm will stop trying to destroy something they believe already destroyed. But there are, of course, many creatures within the multiverse itself who seek to shape it to their own ends. Powerful creatures with powerful wills. And to combat wills that you disagree with will require action.
Do you know who's all in there? Grandmother, caretaker?
What do you mean?
Is everybody, I mean, like, everybody that was alive before, are they still alive in there? Like my parents and
They can be.
Jinxie and all, those people? Are they in there somewhere?
They can be.
What if I don't want them to?
Well, you'll have to do something about it. But nothing will change as it is now.
How do I do this? How do I kickstart the multiverse? How do I become a god?
The caretaker kind of turns you to face him, and he holds up a simple golden key. He offers it.
Are you going to be in there?
We're not really welcome with the others anymore. And the caretaker says, yes, but frankly, I've had a hard century. I'm looking to sit back and take it easy for a while.
I don't know what you guys are looking for. I can't promise you that things will be okay.
Grandmother Praxis pokes you with a long bony finger and says, you're not doing it for us, you're doing it for yourselves. You've got a mess in there. If you want to fix it, clean it up yourselves. It's not for us.
I just look at the caretaker. We spent a lot of time trying to put you back together, man.
I appreciate it. You were very close. The heart would have allowed me to regain consciousness.
We were dying. I didn't know what else to do.
Grandmother Praxis said, I had the Githyanki Armada there. They were about to start bombardment, but it's fine. This is, as I mentioned, you skipped a few steps. It's just fine. This is the end goal anyway, really.
Something tells me it's not over.
Well, here's what's not over about it. See that mess of a multiverse in there now?
You want frozen in time? Yeah, I see it.
Caretaker holds up the key and says, now it's yours.
I take the key.
All right. So, Ket, where do you and your friends find themselves?
Wow. Wow. I want to be very selfish and say that we find ourselves back in my homeland.
Sure.
But
I am going to say that we find ourselves in Nira's home, sitting around the table. And it's kind of like, you know how in Saved by the Bell, when Zach Morris would like freeze things and then he'd keep talking to the camera, and then all of a sudden he'd like unfreeze things and things would go back to normal.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of like that. They're all kind of situated around this table with like food and drink, and I kind of sit down next to Cadence with this key in my hand, and I put the key in my pocket, and I just kind of snap my fingers as everything like roars back to life.
All right. So all of the rest of you were where you were, and now you are here, and you are perfectly healed and fully rested and sitting there comfortably.
They don't know what happened. They don't know what happened, right?
No, no time passed in between. You know, they were in the middle of that fight, and now they're here.
So they don't know what I did.
Zoink.
I have a question. Yeah, I'm not sure how to react to this because I don't know like what the state of anything is. But I still don't have my memories, right? He didn't like fix that, did he?
Nope, that is unchanged.
What do we see around us?
So you wanna describe what this little sitting room in Farusha would look like near us?
You specifically said my home?
Your home. Sorry.
How much of that? Like, it's just like the people that I forgot, right? Not the actual.
You forgot your memories of being there.
Okay. So then I probably don't even recognize it.
But I'm asking you, Starla,
But the
player, to
universe
describe-
does.
Like, in general.
Yeah.
Okay. We're in a dining hall. It's clearly a stone building, but very nice. Very finely sculpted, like the crown molding is very like leaves and vines, and there's some wood paneling like along the bottom, and then above that it's a very nice light colored marble. The table in front of us is very highly polished, but it's a natural. It's like if you took a very giant tree and sliced half of it, so you still had the bark on two sides. It's one of those. Very large table, very long. Easily seats 20. So you would get the impression that a lot of people lived here. Yeah, nice, very high vaulted ceilings, and probably some tapestries with lots of gold accents. Yeah, nice and cozy. Probably a fireplace in one end.
The one
I
detail.
think Archie would look and see that we're the situation we're in this moment, and then as good cat. I didn't zone out.
I just want to interject and say, Starla, that is exactly like very similar to what I pictured your home to look like. I shit you not. Almost like very like kind of regal like, but yeah, that's exactly how I pictured it.
The one detail I'll add to that setting description is that there is a in the center of the table there is a little like platinum with gold inlay like serving platter that has 5 more keys on it and a little card, but like folded up.
By the stone, where the heck are we? What happened? Is this an illusion?
What?
Is there
How
something
did we
messing
get
with
here?
our heads?
What is
Wait,
going
you
on,
see
man?
it too?
What? Do I still have 2 heads?
Do you have 2 heads?
No, I do not.
There you go.
Am I still feeble-minded? No.
No, everyone is fully restored.
Okay.
What happened? Did something... Who intervened?
It wasn't just me.
Must have been the
No,
queen.
I don't think you're capable of this. I don't know how we got here. Are we really here?
Where
I hit the
How'd
table
the-
with my fist.
where are we
It
even?
hurts your fist.
Feels real enough.
Does anybody even know where we are?
This doesn't look like the abyss.
I think,
Could be
Nira,
still an illusion.
it would feel vaguely familiar, I think, even if you don't remember specifically.
Right. Feels
And I-
familiar.
Feel rested.
But I'm very confused because like the last thing that I remembered is that I had, you know, I had been asking Rushama for help, but there was no. It didn't work, and now we're here. Did it work?
It
Maybe.
either worked or it's in our minds. Some other kind of torture. Don't trust
Amethyst is playing with
Anything.
Arwen.
I'm okay with this torture for a minute.
It
Yeah.
may look like it's comfortable, but even kind of fancy. But this is all in your head. Or
I
something.
changed Alaric.
How? What'd you do that for?
I wanted to see if you would wake up. I mean, you seemed like you thought you were dreaming. Did you wake up?
No, but I don't think it works that way.
Well,
My head has been messed with in the past. And
Okay.
Right.
I don't feel like that, but it must be more powerful. That thing is more powerful. This is just another way of it testing.
Alaric,
Here, I have
Maybe.
Alaric, everybody.
I pull out the key and put it down on the table in front of me.
What'd you do?
What is that?
It's the same as the 5 other keys you see on the platter in the center of the table.
Is this some sort of test?
what is that?
I just
I'm
want
going to grab the card in the center of the table and open it.
It says in very fancy handwriting, "Congratulations, you're gods." And that's where we're going to end the session.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, that's an unexpected twist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I literally-
fantastic. I am very happy. So,
Does that mean we're level 20 now? How does that work?
I think so, yeah. I was definitely going to give, like, you guys were going to get a level after this encounter regardless. But I think, yeah, you guys are all level 20 now. But
Seriously?
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Level
Skipping
20.
19?
Ta-da! Yep.
Huh.
Wow.
Just skip 19.
Thanks, James.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm Alaric now.
With
I'm
great
scared.
We're so
power
screwed
comes
now.
great
Holy
responsibility.
shit.
Great power comes great confusion.
I tell you what,
Terror.
I
And you thought we debated this before.
well,
20. Are you messing with us, Christiana?
No.
Well, yes, but
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I
obviously.
she has a plan.
You are
Oh, for
level
sure.
20.
somebody
Yeah.
has to.
Mhm.
It's certainly not
Wow.
us.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm grateful to be level 20. That's awesome. But this is. I do feel terrible.
Don't.
I do.
Seriously.
Mm.
I
Well,
really do.
certainly don't feel terrible, like, on my behalf.
No.
I mean,
I feel bad because I didn't want this to happen. I mean, I didn't know this was going to happen when we sat down to play tonight, obviously.
yeah.
All right. And, you know, you guys have been at this long before Ket and Cadence ever came into the game. So I feel that, you know, part of me might have messed with, you know, everything. But at the same time, I'm like, man, this is D&D.
That's right.
It is. Yes, absolutely. It's D&D. And this is not like the last session of the campaign.
No.
Stuff's still going to happen. But
We got one
yeah,
more.
you know, you guys are, you know, you got a lot of powerful magic at your disposal. And, you know, stuff happens. And like
I mean-
that, you know, this is exactly why, like, just to go meta for a second, this is why when I knew that Ket was going to be able to take the wish spell if James wanted, I basically said, you know, let's just, like, you know, we could briefly have a little bit of a, you know, just give me the heads up if that's what you're going to do. I can kind of have in the back of my mind. See, because I really love the idea of this incredibly powerful magic that just, you know, turns the world on its axis and that sort of thing and makes these big changes and their unforeseen consequences. I mean, that's essentially what, like, the spell literally says is to, you know, like, it is very, very, very powerful, but the bigger you go and the less specific you are, the less control you have over exactly what happens and how. But
Yeah.
in this case, yeah, so don't feel terrible. I mean, I think it's big changes, but that could happen at any time in this game
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
And I
It's
don't
fun,
want.
James.
I know. I don't want anybody to think, and especially you, Christiane, as the DM, that I was trying to like railroad the game or anything.
no.
You know, because
Absolutely not.
I gladly would have talked this over with you beforehand if I knew that's what was going to happen. You know.
right, yeah, like I hear what you're saying, and I am telling you, not only are you forgiven, but there's nothing to forgive. I love this.
Okay.
Yeah, it did take me a moment to just process how to react to it, but
I mean,
not
the
in
rest
a-
of us are going to need therapy, but
Yeah.
at least Christiana's okay.
I mean,
Y'all, Amethyst is an arch druid now. She's just happy. She don't. She's like, yay,
She's gonna
God,
live
whatever.
forever.
Bam.
I,
Yeah.
I literally thought I was going to throw up. I had the garbage can next to me.
Oh,
Ready to
no.
Oh my gosh.
not like just like in nerves, like just
Sure.
leading up to like wishing that, or you know, and going through it. I was just like, I was
Yeah.
shaking.
That's
Wow.
what happens when you make big moves.
Absolutely. So, but I love that. I mean, I think, you know, big choices that change the story in unexpected ways is like one of the biggest joys as a DM.
Hmm.
Even sometimes when it changes things that we had planned.
For years.
Yeah.
So, no, and like I said, I love this, but it's also like when I gave you that opportunity to kind of describe how Ket was feeling,
Mhm.
my plan was to let you just sort of describe your emotional state, and then I would say, and then the Githyanki show up and help. But you went right into that, but that you were authentically playing your character and your
Yeah.
character feeling that sense of despair and saying, I have this tool in my toolbox. Why would I not use it right now? And I feel like that's honest role play, and I love it.
Well, I mean, all I can say is thank you as a DM for allowing that to happen.
Sure.
You know, because I know that was a big shock to everybody, especially me. I literally had like 2 minutes to decide what I was gonna do, and I'm like, well, what would Ket do? What would Ket do? And I just pictured Jennifer in my arms, and as Cadence, and I'm like, what would I do? And that's what I would do.
All right. So
Nice.
I think, you know, there will be a lot of. So what I'm gonna maybe offer you guys just as a teeny sneak preview of how things might proceed from here is to just kind of invoke what James was just saying about like having that sort of terrifying responsibility of being responsible for a big change to the world. Guess what your new jobs are?
Street sweeper. Clearly just a street sweeper.
Caretaker. Who's on caretaker?
I
She
do
wants
walls
to be
for a
kind of
living. That's
true.
all I'm doing. Just walls.
All right, so we will see what awaits
Wow.
the heroes of legend, gods of legend,
Oh no.
Oh Lord. Oh us.
when we return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So
levels.
many levels.
All of them.